Welcome to the Department of Common Sense. And today, we got a brother over here trying to talk some common sense into this other delusional, emotional brother. Shout out to my man Wise over at ARP, A Righteous Perspective. Y'all go over and check out his channel. And y'all like, comment, and subscribe here. Help me build this channel. We're gonna run it up and we're gonna stay up on these news and these events and what's going on right now. We talking about the late great Charlie Kirk and these emotional black people that's out of whack, running off false mis and disinformation. So let's check this out. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
Allocating resources. You keep voting for people who want you to be in a position to where you can blame somebody who's somebody Republican. So you can have a Democratic, you can have a Democratic president, you can have a Democratic mayor, a Democratic city council, and even a Democratic governor.
I agree with. Okay, but I agree with that because I'm not taking any side of political when
Yes,
it
you are.
comes to
You voted
how. Oh, no,
Democrat,
no,
didn't you?
hold on. You don't know how you don't know how I voted. You know
We
how I
listen.
voted. I
Everybody
didn't
in this
vote for the
chat
man.
know.
I didn't vote for the man.
Everybody
I
in
didn't
this
vote for the
chat
man.
know that if you voted, you didn't vote for Trump. We all know that.
100%. I did not.
So okay,
And
so you vote Democrat.
but
Yeah, like that was gonna be a secret. We all know you didn't vote for Trump, brother. You too emotional.
hold on. I could have voted independent.
Who did you
I
vote
didn't,
for?
but I'm gonna fall. So
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise. Today, we got to check this. We got to check this video out here. I'm not going to watch the entire thing, but I am going to leave the entire video for you to watch in the description box below. This is the brother Corey, guy on the right with the glasses, bald head, like myself. Corey from the Smart Christian channel over here on YouTube. I'm gonna leave that in the description box below for you to check out. We got to watch this video, man, because this dude on the left, this is the problem with a lot of the black community right now. The men that are there are entirely too many weak, emotional, low critical thinking individuals looking to point the finger at someone instead of themselves or the party that they wholeheartedly.
I like that term, low critical thinking individuals. Because a lot of y'all take information that y'all giving and just run with it. You never research it. You never see where it came from. You will take a clip, quote, and take it for everything somebody told you it was and never go back and watch the entire dialogue. That's what's wrong. Let's go, Wise.
Support, because we know that people like this vote blue no matter who. We got to get into this. It's going to upset you. It upset me. I was just watching it. I wasn't thinking I was going to do a reaction, but we got to. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on. Watch this thing all the way through.
I am very passionate about. Well, I think it's an injustice to believers in this world
Mm-hmm.
uh, because it seems to be so whitewashed, Jesus and the Bible, and it seems to be jaded towards a different kind of experience that excludes, excuse me, our people and people that are being marginalized and disenfranchised. And I really hate that because when I was working at a certain place, it was a white young lady, and she's like, "I love Jesus." I'm like, "Oh, me too," you know. And she
Mm-hmm.
was married, I was married, and we talk about Jesus. Nobody in there was saved, just us two.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about Jesus and Jesus. Yeah, God is. And then when Trump got into office, the
Mm-hmm.
way that she perceived my people and what the Bible said about us, it changed for me. I'm like, whoa, you don't see injustice the same. We don't see, and it's like they pick and choose the Bible to fit some things that support the white experience and exclude.
Now you notice he's saying all that he's saying, but he really isn't saying anything. He's not telling you what was said or how that situation played out. He just saying, "Oh, we was all buddy buddy," and then Trump got elected, and then we didn't believe some of the same things anymore. You know, what's the full context of that? Like, what things? What was? Give me an example of what happened. Not just say, "Well, this happened like this," because a lot of y'all take that, and just run with it. Never get the full context of it and pull your feelings and emotions in it and tag it how you want to tag it in your brain, and not sit back and think critically and say, well, what was the actual situation? Like, what was said? What thing changed exactly? That's what I want to know. But let's go.
Things that should be encompassed in all of us
So let me ask you a
as
question.
fellow.
Let me
Yes,
ask
sir.
you a question. Do you think that we all do that though? Do you
I,
think that
well, I,
we have a tendency to
yes,
see things
yes,
through our own
yes,
lens? Okay.
yes. I agree, and yes, and then because we are just as guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see, and this part, this is not on the Charlie Kirk. First of all, it was horrendous and horrible to see that young man's life taken like that.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. But it's not a but. Next part. My frustration came with we now justify some of the now if you might agree with it, but it doesn't mean it not less any more less hurtful and impactful to the black community because
Mm-hmm.
you as a black man or other people might agree with it. I think some things that he said were vile. And we're going to talk about our words through scripture. How come he is absolved from the words that he has used that were inflammatory and disrespectful and painful to certain groups of people? Now, I'm not defending any kind of pride movement. I'll say that I'm firm on what the Bible says about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also firm when the Bible says about loving people and treating them with care and loving one another. Because if you disagree with their lifestyle, now,
If you ask me, telling somebody the truth, no matter how harsh, or how hateful it may sound or seem, it's the truth. It's not an insult. It's not racist. Someone is finally being honest with you. Hopefully, you will take that in and do something with it. But hey, that's what happens when you got emotional people, especially emotional men. But let's go.
what I'm saying is, I why is it not okay right now to go through the vile rhetoric, divisive rhetoric that he has used? Because the Bible is clear in so many scriptures.
And that's how you know he's never watched Charlie Kirk a day in his life. Hear what he just said? Vile rhetoric. You've never listened to Charlie Kirk, bro. You heard some few clips taken out of context and ran with what you heard. You have never watched a full dialogue of Charlie Kirk. Not a debate, not his show, nothing. Period. And it shows. And it shows in a lot of black people out here spewing these lies. I can't say what I want to say. I'm trying to keep it clean, but yeah. Spewing these lies about a man. Then crying about people who getting fired for what they said. Well, this man got assassinated for what he said. He never touched or harmed a soul. Let's go.
About our words and about
Do you
living
do
by the
you
sword of
do you
balance.
think that
And there's
do
so
you
many
think that
different
what he
things.
said? Do you think the things that he said? Do you think that he thinks they're vile?
I think that if not yet, I think as a believer in Christ, and if we're going to claim Jesus, there's a certain level of wisdom, care, and concern that should come out of your mouth. If you felt that a certain set of people Where like he said something about Juneteenth. He said some bad thing about Juneteenth. How about we side to the fact of there are people who feel
Juneteenth is the dumbest holiday other than Pride Month. Known to man. Then Columbus Day, and yeah, you follow some more behind that too. But you know, guess some people may have other different opinions, but that's mine. And if you ask me, I can explain to you why.
empowered and feel seen with them holidays. Why shoot it down? He talked about DEI and how DEI, to me, DEI became a code word for black and brown people. Now,
Okay,
that's me.
let me
That's
ask you a
me.
question. Let me
Now,
ask you a question.
how about,
Let me ask you a question.
I let this thing go. This is a emotional brother. This is an emotional male. I don't know if we can even call him a man, an emotional man, because everything is I feel. Talked about Juneteenth. None of y'all was even celebrating Juneteenth until Joe Biden told you could. Like, what are we talking about? Should it be a federal holiday? No, it shouldn't be. It should be what it has always been, which is a regional holiday celebrated by people in Louisiana, in Texas, and some in Oklahoma. If you're not from around there, that isn't something that you historically celebrated. That was something that the Democrats gave black folks to appease y'all. And y'all ran with it. Y'all ran with it. But I'm gonna let this thing I'm gonna let it keep going because he's gonna keep telling on himself and he's gonna keep digging that grave.
so how come his discernment in Jesus in the Bible did not point out to him?
Before I let that thing keep going too, and he keeps talking about Jesus. The one thing that he didn't mention was truth. Yes, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. But do you think someone cares about you if they lie to you or tell you the truth?
Right.
Do your children think that you care about them when you lie or tell them the truth?
Tell them the truth.
That's a question for you guys in the comment section. Because the last I checked, Jesus wasn't in the make you feel good business. He was in the telling you the truth so you will get right, so you will sin no more business. And the thing is that the truth, it is a double-edged sword. It will cut you coming and going, and a lot of people can't handle truth. They would prefer someone that's going to give them those sweet nothings and tickle the ear. Opposed to telling the truth, you need to get yourself right. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. This isn't helping you. This isn't helping your family. This isn't helping your community. This isn't going to help you get where you want to get to. No one wants to take accountability. Everybody wants their bad behavior affirmed. Jesus wasn't in that business. He wasn't in the business of affirming your bad behavior.
How disenfranchised black people have been in.
And before we continue, I just gotta say this. I'm not a religious person. Um, I do have pretty conservative values, but I'm not religious. I'm not a Christian. I have no issue with anybody that is. Actually, the reason I'm saying this is because I find myself more and more agreeing with the mindset and morals of people I don't see eye to eye with on the religion thing. You know, I watch a lot of faith-based brothers who are serious about Christianity and Jesus Christ, and I respect them for that. I have nothing against that, and I hope they have nothing against me because I don't believe. But man, it's just crazy that I stand in solidarity and on the side with these brothers when it comes to these things. And I don't think religion and I know because they are faith based, they push that a lot, but I don't think religion has a whole lot to do with it. Um, I think it just comes down to common sense, man, and being they like to use emotionally intelligent and emotionally intelligent human being. You know, you can get your feelings all stirred up because of what somebody said, or because somebody don't think how you think, or because they don't like what you do. You know, I've never got that. You know, it just it's senseless to me. You know, it's weak to me. You know, I find a man weak that can be pressed by his emotions to react. I really do. But like I said, even though we don't see things the same. Man, I find myself standing with and agreeing with these brothers. And the religion part ain't got nothing to do with it. Because some of these fools religious too. So that's why I said I don't even think religion is even a crux. Like I said, they faith based, so they say, people need to get into church and this and that and go to church and Jesus will do this and that. And if that's your way, if that's what works for you, have at it. Please do your thing. You know what I'm saying? If that will help society and some of these people, cool. But as far as the problem that we're having now, religion has nothing to do with it. It is not the answer. Not at all. The answer right now is putting a stop to the mis and disinformation, making there be consequences for these people who come out with these lies, fear mongering to scare their base, to cause them to do radical shit like kill Charlie Kirk because they didn't agree with how he thought. But let's get back into this, man. I just had to say that.
Corporate America, in business, even in parts of the military, and he don't speak to both sides of it. Why he's so jaded in one view, which makes me think he has a weighted scale.
Okay. So I think that first of all, remember Charlie Kirk, his job is political. His faith seems to color his politics, which I think it should for everybody. So when you say that what he says is divisive or vile, I think that what's happening is we end up saying certain things, or we think that because a person believes something that it is divisive or it is vile. For example, I think that Juneteenth is a silly holiday. I don't even understand why it's a holiday. I know why we have it. We have it because at the time we had we had certain folks who were in power who were able to make it into a holiday. Um,
But what's
because
wrong with that, Corby?
what's wrong with
If,
you?
if, if, it, if it allowed people to celebrate,
Celebrate what?
especially, well, celebrate a level of independence or freedom they feel because what I'm the issue I have is why when it's the black experience is so scrutinized and
Well,
it's so it
His responses let you know his knowledge and intelligence level when it comes to this subject. It's not even what he's saying it is, bro. He's celebrating some shit. Let's go. Let's go.
and then it has to be developed. We question no other holidays for the most part. Because look, I haven't
is
heard
there
a
any
believer.
other but Roy, is there any other holiday that is race specific?
Well, it depends on your perspective of Independence Day and how that independence was achieved.
How was it achieved?
If you're gonna
Is that a white
if you're gonna go,
is 4th of July for a specific race or for the whole country?
Well, if a set of group of people was not set free and was still oppressed in different ways during that time, they might not feel as independent. How come why is it so wrong
Okay,
to
hold on,
say, you know
hold on.
what?
So hold on.
There were a plethora of free blacks that helped and assisted in the independence of this nation. Let's not forget Crispus Attucks, the first person to die in the Revolutionary War, a black man. Let's not forget that. What are we talking about?
We all
These
know
people.
he don't know nothing about that. Why? He is not that intelligent of a brother. He comes off as a pretty weak man that's in his feelings and he's emotional. That's just my opinion, though.
History. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're so in their feelings. There's a plethora of black people that put their lives on the line for this nation. Early on, black people have fought in every war that this nation has ever had since its existence. What are we talking about?
Because I think what's happening is you are expressing what you've been told.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I say
What?
that? Why do I say that? Because you weren't there 1776. You weren't
Of
oppressed
course
by
not.
that.
None of us were.
However, what you are today, you can feel, you can literally, all of us who are in America can literally feel and experience the independence from the British Empire. We can literally feel that today. We all can share that. It wasn't that we were being celebrated. I mean, we were being freed for certain races. Now, were there some ills, some issues happening? Sure. By the way, you realize we only had slavery in this country because of one vote. When they were forming the country, we missed out on abolishing slavery throughout the entirety of this land by one vote.
One vote.
So it wasn't as though that everyone was lockstep, but fine, we went ahead and went with that. And we hear these narratives such as we were only 3/5 of a human being. No, we're not. The
That was
Constitution
true.
is not. No, it's not. Now, by the way, my major in college was political science, and so in minor history, it does not say that. It does not say that we were
So where did it
three
come from?
fifths of a person.
Now, right here, I've been explaining this to people for the longest. And I realize so many people have no idea what this means. This brother is about to break it down like textbook, elementary, so you can understand it. Please listen.
You
It's
tell me.
it says that the representation for the people, for the purpose of choosing congressmen for the House of Representatives, to pick out how many people are going to be in the House of Representatives. Should we count all those slaves? Now, the reason why it was 3/5, here's the reason why. It was done, Roy, to punish the southern states for having slavery. We don't think that you should have slavery. So, but since you do have them, what we're going to do, the compromise was we're not counting them as 3/5 of a person. We're counting for the purpose of how many people, let's say if there's 1 million people in Mississippi, but 800,000 are slaves. So 200,000 in Mississippi are free, and there's 500,000 free folk in all told, let's say in Maryland. You mean to tell me Mississippi is going to get more? By the way, if Mississippi has more representation, what is Mississippi going to do? They're going to do things to promote slavery and this injustice even further. So what they did to counter that was to say, well, fine. The compromise is we are not going to let you count your slaves who you don't give them any voting rights to count them as a whole person. Not that they were not a whole person. They're counting for the sake of representation would not be. There is nowhere in the Constitution or anywhere else that says that
Okay.
those black people, remember, because there were black people up north who they counted as far as representation as a whole person.
Not to mention
And I want to say something before I speak right here. This is the same thing that is happening with congressional seats. And the reason that this redistricting is happening, that a lot of people are crying about, because these blue states, sanctuary cities, and all that, they count illegal immigrants as U.S. citizens to boost their numbers in population so they get more seats. But they don't actually represent that many American people. So that's how and where it gets skewed in politics. But let's go back to this. Let's get on this. See what Wise got to say right quick.
Free black slave owners, pretty much in the South Carolina, North Carolina, what was considered the Carolinas, and in Virginia. I mean, these people don't know history. They know what they've been told, and that's it. They haven't taken the time to go.
They know what they was told, and that's it. They ain't took the time to research nothing. We're going with it, Wise, because you got it, brother.
Do their own due diligence, to do their own research. And the thing is that why would you have wanted the people that were enslaved in our country, in the southern states majority, to be counted towards the representation or representatives for Congress?
Like I always say, black folks are their worst enemy, and they fight for their own demise because they have no knowledge. They take what you give them and take off.
Which would have given the southern states more representatives in the House to be able to bully and get their way so they could maintain the evil practice that enslaved people. I mean, I don't even think people understand it. And people got to understand that it was called the 3/5 compromise. Compromise for purposes of taxation and representation in Congress. See, people only hear, hey, they only look at you as 3/5. No, for purposes of taxation and representation in Congress. Had they not come with this compromise, it would have given the ability for the South to have more power in the House of Representatives and in the Electoral College, strengthening the political grip of slavery in the slaveholding states.
If you thought slavery was bad, it would have been 10 times worse if they wouldn't have passed the 3/5 compromise. And you niggas still crying about it.
I mean, come on, man. Like, I mean, some of these people, it just baffles my brain.
Yes.
It was only for the sake of representation. We were never called or counted or called 3/5 of a person. But we're told that, just like when you said, you thought I was wrong. But we can simply go look it up and we'll find out that there's nowhere ever. But why did you think that? Because someone has been telling us that.
Okay, and that's true. That's true. But they still were treated as such. So any of us who, my thing is this, my frustration is how we claim. I'm sorry, Corey, I'm trying to, because it's reversed. I'm sorry.
I understand.
Well, I can't, bro. My frustration is with so many people claiming Jesus, Jesus, he loves all. But they pick and choose scriptures and they pick and choose what they do want to use. And then when it comes to even people who might have came in through immigration, or when it comes to black and brown communities, the underserved, like I work with my church for underserved communities.
Who's the underserved?
I've worked in that
position. What do you mean by the underserved?
The underserved black community. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, but underserved.
I'm in St. Louis.
Who is underserved?
The people.
How?
With the resources.
How?
I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you. Even right now, them areas that was hit by the tornado. Do you know what kind of heck they have been going through with black people? For a black person not to see the demise, and the oppression and the mistreatment of blacks in America to me is disingenuous. It's like
Okay.
you have
So
it's willing. Hold on, it's willing. Now we can disagree. It's willing blinders
mhm.
for you to not see the impact of how black people, and not in whole, because
Mhm.
I love my white and black and brown and whatever brothers and sisters. When I see that we are fellow believers in Christ, I feel even more connected.
Mhm.
But if it is, I see this in communities. I see different race politicians
But
and
but
aldermen.
because I want to get to all your points as quickly as we can.
Okay,
How
yeah,
are
okay.
these people underserved?
They're underserved in resources. They'll put money into these communities to try to fight crime without putting that same money into these communities
Okay,
for
so let's
after school
pause.
programs.
Here's why you might.
That's your local government, brother. You need to talk to them. That going no higher than your local politicians. That state. Man, this dude is clueless.
Here's why you might want to give Charlie Kirk an apology, because what Charlie Kirk advocates for is the opposite of the people that you probably vote for. Because in St. Louis, who is what party runs St. Louis? Come on, say it with me
The
all together.
Republican,
The
The
Democrats.
DVP.
well, as the mayor or overall the state, because
Not the
we still a
state.
red
No, no, no,
state.
no, no. Not the state. I'm talking about the city.
You getting
The
it
But the
city.
wrong.
power comes to the federal government, though, Corey. No,
Wait a second.
I
Wait a second.
disagree
Wait a
with that.
second.
See, that's the that's the denial. That's the denial. But I'm gonna let Corey flush this out.
Wait a second. Wait a second. What are the most populous cities in Missouri?
It's well, it depends. Well, it depends
What are the
because
two
St.
most
Charles,
populous cities
St.
in Missouri? St. Louis and
Um,
Kansas City, right?
yeah,
Where do the bulk of black people live in Missouri? St. Louis
but how,
and hold on, St.
but
Louis and Kansas
but
City, the very same
but be,
places that are ran by. Hold
but
on,
being
the very
but
same
being
places.
popular, but
Shut
being
up.
popular for certain reasons does not mean it's not
You're
underserved,
not listening to what I'm
Corey.
saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm going
Okay,
somewhere.
okay, okay.
Same thing in St. Louis and Kansas City
Very womanly. He wants to talk, doesn't want to listen.
Yep.
and Chicago and Philadelphia and Houston and Los Angeles and Baltimore and Detroit and Milwaukee. You've got Democratic mayors and a large portion of the city council, or however the local government is set up, by Democrats. The majority of the people that are making the decisions and that are allocating the very resources that you're complaining about not getting are the people you keep voting for. You're
But where do they
voting.
get the money from, Corey?
Wait,
Hold
hold,
on,
wait a
where do
second.
they
Wait
get
a
that
second.
money
Wait a
from?
second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. The amount of money that are spent on the school districts and how they're spent in those places. Same thing for the police departments. All these different things. So if you're talking about, because you can tell me that St. Louis and Kansas City don't get more resources, more funds allocated to them than, let's say, Springfield.
But it's not. It's the. But see that's kind of semantic somewhere
No, it's not
because
semantics. This is
it is.
facts.
But it's coming through. But so where did the mayor get their money from?
Excuse me.
Where did the money from the city come from?
You get money from the city, from the state taxes and local taxes.
What kind of question was that? Didn't I tell you this dude is oblivious to how shit work? Where do you get the money? Why you think you got taxes? Man.
Okay, so when it comes
So
to
local
but,
taxes, sales taxes, state tax. Now, depending on how your state is set up, some states allocate those resources differently.
And I gotta give a shout out to my unofficial sponsor of the channel, Grandma Ye. That's what we sipping. That's the vibe. Let's go, man.
And so you
yeah,
also do things to incentivize to bring in businesses. So, for
yes,
example, in St. Louis, what is the city doing to incentivize to bring in business, to bring up to build up a bigger tax base, to build up a bigger tax base, to also have the people, those resources that you want? What are you doing with it? So, for example,
okay,
and I'm pretty sure, not like it happened in Chicago, or it happened in Boston, or it happened in other places,
And
New York,
and
when you
other
had
red
other
states have
people,
issues too.
when you had other people to come in the country who came in illegally, whereas you guys say that you didn't have those resources previously. Soon as you get an influx of illegal aliens to come into your city, now all of a sudden there are resources. And we saw that. And that's why folks, and you can't tell me it didn't happen in St. Louis, because it did. Same thing that happened in every
It
other
did,
major city.
but
Now all of a sudden,
of
when you
course, but
didn't have
that's an
resources,
American thing. That's an
no, 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 no,
American
no,
thing.
no, no, it's not. It's not. It's not. Because in Chicago,
Yes.
in the South Side, folks were getting upset. Wait a second. We didn't have money to turn this school into a community center or to revitalize this school so the kids can have some place to go. Instead, what you did was you all of a sudden found the money to house these people. Same thing in Boston. You got community centers that have been turned into now place for these illegal aliens to come in and live, but you didn't have the money to pay for the black folks in that city before. The reason is because you keep voting for people who don't care about allocating resources. You keep voting for people who want you to be in a position to where you can blame somebody.
And that seems to go right over his head because he can't wait to jump in and deny it and try to refute it. Look at the look on his face. Look how he holding his mouth. He can't wait. You can see the tears coming down. Man. My people, please let's wake up. Educate ourselves. Please let's do that.
Who's somebody Republican. So you can have a Democratic, you can have a Democratic president, you can have a Democratic mayor, a Democratic city council, and even a Democratic governor.
I agree with. Okay, but I agree with that because I'm not taking any side of political when
Yes,
it
you are.
comes to.
Oh, yeah, you are.
You voted Democrat.
No, hold on.
Did you?
Yeah, he definitely voted Democrat, and he was trying to do everything that he could to defend the Democrat Party. Yeah, he's probably only voted blue no matter who.
Hold on. You don't know how I voted. You know how
Listen,
I voted.
everybody in this chat.
We know how you vote, brother. Trust me. It's written all over your face.
Everybody in this chat know that if you voted, you didn't vote for Trump. We all know that.
100% I did not.
So okay,
And
so you voted Democrat.
But hold on. I could have voted independent.
Who did you vote
I didn't,
for?
but I'm gonna phone. So if I voted. I'm
For
one of the people who
Democrats.
voted more.
You
Hold on.
voted for
I voted
Democrats.
Democrat. I voted Democrat. Hold on. I voted Democrat for the presidency for the reasons that I have. And I would go back and do it again because when I voted for Democrat, when I voted for Democrat, there's no way in the world. And this is a conversation I'm not going to go into today. But we're also known by the fruit that we bear.
He pretty much telling you he voted Democrat because he don't like Trump. And I'm pretty sure it's because somebody told him not to.
And we know by the people standing
brother. My point is, because I don't want to rehash who you vote for, because we all know you didn't vote Republican. That's fine. That's fine. My point is, you're talking about resources.
My point.
But let's spin this. Let's spin and make it. Let's make it biblical. Let's make it biblical. Do you think that blacks in America, from the beginning to now, are far more oppressed than people who were in the Bible during Jesus' day?
I can't answer that in a vacuum.
I can, because if you mistreated your slave in Jerusalem, what was the penalty? You didn't go to jail for that. You can beat him, you can kill him, you can do whatever.
Well, but Corby, that is an extreme example at the time.
No, there's a reason for that. Did Jesus, when he came, did he advocate for social problems to be changed? Was that it? Was that his point? Where in the Bible does Jesus say, you know what, considering your past, let's promote and think about your past? He didn't. The only thing that he did was tell the best example was Jesus saying, I was the one that brought you out of Egypt.
Okay, so question. Okay.
He didn't tell him to go back and reflect on Egypt or your time as slaves. He never did that.
So hold on.
But we're supposed to do the same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna end it. Not that I'm upset. We got a women's conference tonight, and I'm serving at church. So is your just so I know. Well, I want to know. So your position is and I don't owe Mr. Charlie Kirk an apology because I don't think that the man should have been harmed at all. He
Mm-hmm.
has the right and ability to say what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is with now people throw away words that hurt people and that cause people some the things that he said was vile, and we don't keep a plumb line of compassion for both sides to say, hey, that wasn't right, or hey, people were affected by that. It's just in this country, it seems like we're gonna majority of the time we're gonna fall to the side of a certain political party, or well, let's not let's say race, because they both have issues and ills.
Well,
They
okay.
both
What were
have
the
them.
words that he?
I think part of the issue with the country is we don't have enough hurt feelings. Motherfuckers need to get used to their feelings being hurt, so you can brush that shit off and move the fuck on with your life and your day, and not hold on to it and make you turn you into a crash dummy or just some bag of emotional motherfucker that can't function correctly. Like, man, get out your feelings. I feel. Yeah, I feel you feel too much.
Hurt you.
Well, I don't. Well, it to me, I'm a big boy enough to say he's ignorant. He was ignorant for the things he said. When it comes to DEI, we know that DEI helped us. We know that these corporations and
We know that DEI means didn't earn it. Man, get out your feelings, bro. And you don't even realize that you was a pun. DEI used you as a pun to put you in a seemingly good position. A very small, single number percent of you. Just so they can shoot themselves to the stratosphere. And you not cry about it. Because you got a seemingly good position or good job. And you still making peanuts compared to where they done put themselves. Boy, y'all don't sit down.
DEI didn't help black people. It definitely didn't help black men. It helped the alphabet community and the trans community and white women the most. DEI only benefited 4%. You know what I'm saying? 4% of DEI benefited black folks. I mean, this dude is so charged up and in his feelings that he doesn't even know what he's talking about. When Corey asked him, hey, what did Charlie say that was so vital? He doesn't even know.
Has no idea. Can't even repeat a quote verbatim that man said. Definitely can't tell you about all he talked about.
Going off of his feelings and what someone told him to feel. And that is my problem with these weak beta males out here. And there's a bunch of them. Weak, soft. This man probably isn't the head of his household. And there's a bunch of people out there, that call themselves leaders, feeling a certain way about something. And y'all ain't even running your situation. It's ridiculous, man.
will overlook qualified black people and give white people positions.
What kind of company
You have to
wants to
be.
bring in what kind of company wants to bring in underqualified people just because they're that racist?
No. See,
Which
no. See, the
what
problem.
okay?
Hold on, no,
What
no, no,
company's
no.
doing that?
Hold on,
What
Corey.
company did
It's
that?
not that. No, Corey. Wait a minute. It's not that. That's not the issue.
You just said these
They would
companies
check.
are overlooking overqualified people. What
No, no.
company? Which company? You can't make a claim without backing it up.
No,
What company is
no, no,
overlooking
no.
overqualified?
That's enough. He's not going to answer the question. And that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. And there is a lot of people like this guy here. And he calls himself a child of God. And he may be. Who am I to judge him, right? But the last time I checked, those of us that are members of the kingdom, we aren't victims. We are overcomers. We're not, hey, when the people, when the Hebrews, left Israel, they didn't dwell on Egypt.
All right, man. I'm gonna pretty much stop it right there. Shout out again to the brother Wise from a righteous perspective. Again, y'all go over, check the channel out, like, comment, subscribe. He makes great videos. This will not be the last video that he posts that I review because the brother posts some great stuff. But if you made it this far, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Come on in, help me build the channel. And I don't know. I guess that's just gonna be it for today, man. I think we said all we can say. I just want to add, for my folks that's watching this, please do your due diligence. Go and research what people tell you. If they say it happened or somebody said something on the news, go look it up so you can see what actually happened and was said. Somebody come tell you something happened or somebody said something, go look it up to see what it actually is and what it says. Listen for yourself. Read for yourself. Because as long as we don't, we will forever have a steering wheel in our back being driven towards whatever they want us to go toward and never make it anywhere. Thank you again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Department of Common Sense. I'm your host, Director H, and we out. Thanks for watching.